righty, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday masterclass. We have Sarah here with us. We're super excited to dive in. As we get started, just a reminder, our masterclass is where we bring in experts in the industry that have tried things out, figured out the tactics to help you grow and manage your business. So they're kind of the pros that give us the tips so we can help grow too. So we're super excited to have Sarah here today. We also have Michelle and Nicole from Jill's office. Michelle is our head director of business development, and Nicole is our HR / in charge of culture. She helps things stay fun, but also organized here at Jill's office. So yeah, we're super excited. Sarah here is with Hearth. She is their business development manager. Hearth provides home improvement companies of literally any size. She was just telling us super small even to super big companies with simple customer financing solutions. So digital payment, collection, and more. So we're super excited to get into what we're talking about today, which is going to be how to increase your close rate by 17% by simply offering customers monthly payment options, which is super huge. I know at Jill's office, we've started offering that and it's made a big difference for our customers. So I'm excited to kind of hear more tips on that and get a little more in depth with it with you, Sarah. So we'll turn the time over to you and we're super excited.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having me on. And yeah, I think it's interesting when you think about financing because it's everywhere these days. You know, I went to buy a sweater at Macy's and I think it's Klarna, or I forget what application they use, but you know, it's a $25 sweater. And before I check out, they're like, oh, do you want to break this up into 4 monthly payments? I'm like, $5 a month? Like, probably not, but like wild that you guys even have that as an offering. And I'm sure a lot of contractors on the stream have come across similar things where whether you're buying a car, whether you're buying, you know, new furniture for your house, I think financing has kind of been a no-brainer. But let me go ahead and share my screen.
Especially recently, I mean, all business owners know we've all had to raise prices just because of everything that's going in the economy, but people still need work done on their homes, either by emergency, by necessity, or by desire, and so being able to offer ways for people to afford it and break it up, I just think it's kind of a no-brainer, especially if you have a higher ticketed service company. It's just a need out there.
Absolutely. I mean, I live in Texas. I can promise you when it is 102 degrees and your AC breaks, you are not going to be like, oh, I can't afford it. Like you are going to find a way to get that new air conditioning into your house.
Yeah, and I'm probably jumping a little bit ahead, but I can tell you that your sweater that's going to only cost you $5, like 4 times, makes me feel like I could afford 4 more sweaters. So I'm probably going to add more things on.
So you should go buy a sweater, essentially. Awesome. And I think, the Jill's team did a great job of kind of explaining what we'll cover, but really we're going to talk to that really by just easily offering monthly payments to your customers. It is a way that we have seen contractors actually increase their close rate by upwards of 17% by really just making some small changes in their funnel. This is something that's possible. And a little bit of background, we already kind of went into it a little bit, but basically what we do over here at Hearth is we have a really, really easy to use mobile app and desktop. And our goal here is to help contractors of all size offer financing, something that the big dogs shouldn't only be able to offer. No matter the size of your business, you should be able to be competitive and get your customers the payment options that they need. And that's really where we come into the space. But we also have a ton of other tools that we've built out. We have payments that are digital, so you don't have to worry about driving around to collect checks. We also have contracts that we've set up and quoting tools. So really what we like to think of ourselves as is, we're financing at the heart, but once you come onto Hearth, we can build you tools that are going to help you be successful and really close more business. And as I mentioned, my name is Sarah. I'm the business development manager over here. I've worked in the home improvement technology space for about 10 years. Started actually in marketing, which I think is a good and bad thing because it's probably the most competitive part of this business, but also the most important. And I think the folks at Jill's know the importance of speed to lead, the importance of, everything that kind of comes with marketing at this point, but started over there and then have been at Hearth for about 1.5 years and just have totally enjoyed it. I feel very lucky that I get to work in such a cool industry. And yeah, so kind of jumping into it, I think a really good way to kind of frame the conversation around financing is, do customers actually want this? And I think this is really the first thing that I hear every single contractor who isn't offering monthly payments say to me. Oh, Sarah, I don't know what you're talking about. No one has ever asked me for financing. And I don't think a lot of customers will ask for something that's not on your menu. But when we've actually looked into the data of it, customers want financing options, maybe not for the entire, roof, but at least for a portion of it. And this was a really fantastic study that Modernized Home Services did last year. They put out a state of the industry every single year. And what they polled were, they asked thousands of homeowners how much of their project they actually wanted to receive financing options on. And I was even surprised that it was actually typically about 3 out of 4 homeowners want to finance at least some portion of their project. And it is surprising, but it also makes me realize that if a lot of times if you have a homeowner who's paying by credit card's a form of financing, right? So they're going to pay that off, and they might be paying really high interest rates on that credit card. So by offering them monthly payments through you might be able to actually be helping out that homeowner and helping out that customer experience. But I think the first kind of dynamic change with the home improvement contractors that we work with is that customers might not ask for this, but this is something that's wanted in the market, just as I've never asked to receive monthly payments on this sweater that I'm purchasing at Macy's, but I might purchase 5 more sweaters now at this point. Just as Nicole said.
I think there's education needed, because it's like you say, if it's not in the menu, I mean, society knows now that you can get a car loan, right? And that's just a given if you go into a dealership, but they're just not consumers aren't used to being able to ask their plumber, ask their HVAC, ask their whatever, their construction guy for financing. So it's like, you have to help educate them that they can even ask for it.
Absolutely. If someone's not going to order something that's not on the menu, right? It would be like the same thing as me going into a coffee shop that's only open for breakfast, being like, hey, do you guys have a burger? Even though their menu is right in front of me. I don't know what to ask for. Yeah. And so it's the same concept where it's put financing essentially on your menu, and you'll have more customers interested in that option. And you actually brought this up, Michelle. How really should contractors be thinking about financing? And I think you look at the car industry as a really interesting model of how monthly payments have been incorporated to drive more sales and upsell. There is not one time that anyone has ever gone into a car dealer and been given the cash price of a car when they're looking at a new or used car. It is pretty consistently when you come in, someone meets with you, hey, what's your budget look like from a monthly payments perspective? Okay, now that I have that, let me show you the options. And when we're thinking about home improvement projects, the ticket size a lot of time can be super similar. We're working with general contractors who their average ticket's like $27,000, which is essentially the same thing as a homeowner buying a car, but the difference is that their car's not parked inside their home and they don't have to look at it all the time. Whereas with, a kitchen remodel, that's something that these homeowners are looking at every day. They're very, very invested in that. It's something that they love. And so what we see for our home improvement contractors when they offer monthly payments to every single customer, and instead of just waiting for someone to ask, is really 4 things. As a contractor, you're able to generate leads. So you're able to get those homeowners through the door who are interested in receiving financing options. You're given a competitive advantage during the sales process. So let's say you're a roofing company and the homeowner has 3 people come out to give a roof estimate. Every single roofing company maybe gives them an estimate for $12,000, but the third one also says, hey, it could be $12,000 cash or as low as about $100 a month. That's going to be a huge competitive advantage for that person. And then the third thing being, we see it increase your close rate by about 17%. And that really comes from the 2 pieces before. It allows you to get more business in the door, and it allows you to open up your funnel to less, I need to think about it, or it's not in my budget. And then the third being to increase your average job ticket size. And this to me is like kind of the icing on the cake. And you can kind of look back to cars, right? When you go around and you're getting the monthly payments, you're going to be much more likely to choose the car with the leather interior and the speaker system that you like if it's only an additional $30 more a month, versus if the car dealer quotes you, hey, it's going to be $6,000 more upfront. And that's where we see contractors really be able to upsell a product that the homeowner is more interested in getting, a more premium siding or a paint color that they want.
I love that. And if I'm jumping ahead and you're going to get to this, just say we'll get there. But
yeah,
I'm just curious. So where have you found in the customer journey? At what point do you bring this up?
So we are going to get there because that's super important.
I'll stay tuned.
No, but that's pretty much that's like the entire next piece that I'll cover is like, where do you start with it? And feel free, if people who are on the call, go ahead and comment down below too. Are you offering financing or monthly payments to your customers right now? And we'll go ahead and start reading those because it will give us context for the convo to make sure that we're speaking your language, because some people are, some people aren't, etc. So feel free to write on down below. And then jumping into it. So the first step in the funnel, how do we use financing? Step number one, incorporate it into your marketing. So when I Googled in my Austin local area, looking at, some of the bigger companies in the industry, Window World obviously is huge, Renewal by Andersen, Leaf Filter, and then Radiant is an awesome local HVAC company that's super dominant in our market. Every single one of these companies had financing as one of their top message in their website. So Renewal by Andersen actually had a pop-up that came on to the website. Leaf Filter, Window World, and Radiant had an entire page of their website dedicated to financing. So I think when we're looking at what industry leaders are doing, they're leading with a financing first messaging in their marketing. So we should all be doing that. Essentially, if they're doing it, they have hundreds of millions of dollars pumped into their marketing, as we all know on this call. So let's follow what's working for these companies and make it even better. And so at Hearth, we know that there are a couple ways that you can actually promote financing, and we give you guys some marketing tools to do so. But where we see contractors leverage monthly payments and talking about it in their marketing is a couple of places. So one, just as we saw on the slide before, websites. So at Hearth, we've actually got some pre-made website banners, and these are great to drive leads to your business. The second piece being pamphlets, flyers, lawn signs. Put that you offer monthly payments on everything. And you'll be surprised the amount of residual people that will pop in when their AC breaks and they're like, oh, I don't have $10,000 right now to replace this, but you guys are offering monthly payments. And then the other places being just social media, right? This is something that you can utilize in any Facebook advertising campaign. You can put it in your blog. Anything really at the top of the funnel when it comes to marketing is a fantastic place to start talking about how you offer monthly payment options.
I love how you're going through this too, because I think often, when you're running the business, it's like you always, I don't know, it's like sales is always, oh, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to rub people wrong. But when I think about this, you're literally making their life easier, because if their AC does come out, they're like, do I get a home equity loan? Do I put this on my credit card? Who do I call in my family? So you're literally making it easier for them, because it's one less call they have to make, one less thing they have to stress about. You're combining in one shop, we'll get it all done for you. And so I feel like just shout it out, because it's
totally
you're helping people.
It's giving people an option, just like as at the end of the day, we're in a customer service industry. It doesn't matter if you're a roofer, doesn't matter if you're HVAC technician, it doesn't matter if you're a beautiful interior remodeler who does super custom work. Your business is how happy you can make the customers that you're working with. And so whatever that looks like, if offering them monthly payment options, whether they need it because they don't have $10,000 cash, or they're very, very wealthy and they don't want to take money out of their Charles Schwab account to pay for it, and they'd rather do monthly, that's exactly what we're talking to. Awesome. And then a good example of this was actually, we had a company, Dave Spence, who we installed all banners onto their website. And we actually saw that in their first 2 months, they were actually able to drive clicks directly on the financing banners, which came into their funnel and helped them actually get around $75,000 in funded loans just from using it as a lead gen tool. So really the first place when you think about offering customers monthly payments is going to be in that marketing section. And then really, I think you were kind of asking on this, Michelle, and I think it's a great question, is where next? Where to next? So I offered it in my marketing, and what's another good way to offer it? And I think that question is start at, your demo set, start at your estimate. So you or your appointment set team, if it's Jill's office who's answering your calls and setting appointments, if it's someone in-house, whoever is making contact with a customer, let them know that you have financing options available. So when you're on the phone, either setting the appointment, or if you're sending a text message after confirming the appointment, really great idea and a light touch to get the customer even thinking about budget beforehand is to be like, we have monthly payment options available if that's something that's interesting to you, but totally up to you. and you don't have to fill it out if you don't, but we'll still be out there at noon, essentially. So that's a really great kind of second touch when we think about offering financing. And then getting into kind of the third part of the funnel is actually scripting for offering it when you and your guys are in the house. So you want to introduce financing throughout the sales process. And as we covered before, starting at that appointment set. And that way, homeowners, when we're offering it early, they have time to think about what works best for them. And then they can even actually possibly plan more improvements that they hadn't thought initially possible due to budget constraints. And I'll kind of give an example of this. Let's say I am having someone come out, take a look at my roof. I got hail damage, like pretty much 90% of the homes in Austin at most times, it seems. And I have my mindset on this really, the standard black shingle, because I know that it's going to be the one that's closest to my budget for right now. But if I'm sent the pre-qualification page beforehand and I see, oh, you know what, actually, I can up my budget a little bit because it's only going to be about a $20 difference from a monthly payments perspective. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be like, ooh, maybe I'll get a metal roof, which I know lasts longer. I know that it's not going to be damaged by hail in the future. And even though in the short term, I'm going to pay a little bit more, maybe I'll have to pay interest on it, et cetera, I might not have to deal with this issue again for, a longer period of time. And so that's kind of a really powerful way to make sure it's incorporated in that process.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then offer to everyone. I think what's been most surprising for me working here is that you literally never know someone who's going to use financing. You could walk up to a $17 million house and that customer, they might just not keep money in cash, which is so surprising to me. I thought coming into Hearth, I was like, our demographic is going to be people, who really need the money. But what it's turned out to be is a combination of both. You have people who don't have the cash on hand, but then you also have people who are like, hey, I don't want to take money out of my 401k because I had this unexpected flood. I have a ton of mold. And offering monthly payments to everyone is going to get the best result for the business and help improve your close rate over time. Mm-hmm. And then kind of touching more into this, and I think when we look at close rate, this kind of is a good example of it, of 2 HVAC consultants. So this was actually one of our partners who's fantastic over at Sales Builder Pro. They gave us some data on 2 HVAC consultants and how often they were offering financing. And one was offering it 62% of the time, the other was offering it 47% of the time. And the person after, I think this was over the course of a year period, the person who was offering financing had a significantly higher average ticket and almost, I think it was an 11% increase in their win rate. And at the end of the day, that speaks to kind of what we've been talking about this whole time. They're just getting more people into their funnel. They're keeping more people there. And so
you're picking up the ones that otherwise couldn't buy. So
exactly, couldn't buy, or they went and bought from someone else who offered them financing fundamentally. So you're just keeping more people in your funnel. And then when we think about the kind of how do I actually offer it, right? Like in theory, this all sounds good. I'm offering 0% to customers, but like, what does that actually look like in practice? With Hearth, at least, really all it looks like is sending a link to your customers. So after you've done the appointment set, after you have spoken and utilized your marketing materials to talk about financing, the third step is when you're in the house, telling customers about financing. And so presenting the job as, hey, this is going to be $5,000 cash, or it could be as low as $82 a month, depending on what your credit, of course, is like. I will send you my link, which is up here on the screen. That's all you have to worry about as a contractor. I'll send you this link. You can go off, get pre-qualified, and understand what your options are. And the homeowner's gonna be like, okay, cool. Some of them might be like, I'm good, just as I was with the Macy's sweater, but it gives them the option and the opportunity. And then from there, your homeowners can get pre-qualified really quickly. The nice thing about offering them financing is it gets homeowners thinking about their budget, right? For us, when we have a homeowner fill out the pre-qualification, we're asking that homeowner their employment status, how much they're making, what their credit's like. And we're also asking them, how much their monthly payment is and how much they're looking for the project. And this, for you as a contractor, gives you so much insight into where their budget's at. If you quote them a project that's $10,000, but they put that they're only looking for something that's $8,000, you can adjust accordingly and really kind of pivot your pitch. But yeah, so after you've sent them the link in the house, you've talked to them about financing, homeowner fills this pre-qualification out. It takes them about 2 minutes. Sometimes we have people who type like this, could be 4. And then from there, it's a soft pull on their credit. And I think that's something that contractors, again, it's a customer success. We're trying to make customers happy, and customers don't want hard pulls on their credit day after day. I sure don't. I'm confident no one on this call wants that. And so by offering them this Hearth pre-qualification, they get a soft pull, and then the homeowners can see, what they're eligible to borrow. So homeowners get options, and fundamentally with financing, that's what it comes down to. And then the homeowner can choose what's best for them. They go off, fill out the application with the lender directly, and then they're able to pay the contractor cash, check, card, however you guys typically get paid. And so the financing deal is really a cash deal for the business. So whether, anyone on this calls a roofing, interiors, however you structure, 50% upfront or 50% at completion, that remains completely the same. Basically, all you're doing is allowing homeowners to receive a line of credit, and they'll pay the lender directly so that you guys don't have to worry about collecting monthly payments, because I sure don't want to do that. I'm sure no one on this call wants to do that either, nor our contractors.
So with Hearth, so basically they sign up, they get, the website banner, everything, and it basically does all the work. Like, you connect with all the banks and the lenders.
Yep.
What do they even have to really worry about?
I will show you this link.
Okay.
This is literally the only thing that we tell contractors that they need to worry about. You have to be comfortable sending this link to a homeowner via email and text, and be comfortable in your sales pitch pitching monthly payments. I think that's the biggest thing that I hear, where it's, I don't want to offend someone. I don't want to make them feel like, they don't have the money, etc. And I understand that, but really you're just giving them an option. I think at this point, this day and age, no one's offended by monthly payments, because I think historically—
Are you offended at the store? It's just like, oh no,
no,
I don't need that.
I was like, for this purchase, I don't need that. But God,
Right.
if I go in and I buy 17 sweaters, maybe, maybe I would do
Christmas
that.
time, maybe.
Yeah. Especially if,
sweaters.
especially if it's 0%, maybe that is something that I do.
Right.
And so as a homeowner, you can never, homeowners are crazy, and all the contractors on this call knows that. There are some homeowners you meet with that are totally sane, rational human beings. And then there's some that think are going to do a kitchen remodel for $1,000.
Right.
So it's like, you have to cater to both.
Sure, $1,000 a month, maybe, over
Yeah, totally.
time,
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
then do they get their payment from the lender, or how does the contract make money?
Great question. So basically what happens actually is that the homeowner is funded directly, and they're funded. It could be as quick as 12 hours, but it could also take 7 days. It totally is dependent on how the homeowner fills out the form, if they need to upload W-2, etc. But it's fairly quick. And then from there, I'll show you guys here. I think it's actually at the end, but basically what it is the homeowner's funded through the lender. So let's say in this example, Lightstream at the top would fund the homeowner $10,000. You as the contractor is notified, hey, Lindsay received the $10,000. I would reach out and be like, hey, Lindsay, saw that you got funded. Fantastic. We'll do a 50% deposit. We'll go out. We'll actually order the system that you want, and then we'll collect 50% at completion. So really the deal remains exactly the same for you. We're just putting more money into that homeowner's hand. And then they're going to pay the lender directly monthly. And since we're not underwriting the contractor, they have no liability to collect.
So you're
that
guaranteed
money
as the contractor to get paid. It's really the lender that's taking on the risk and having.
So the lender is the one taking on the risk. I mean, these are personal loans directly to the homeowner. So really the homeowner could get funded. And let's say you go out there late or you don't complete the job, you're not going to get paid, because the homeowner can hold on to that cash. But if you sign a contract and you walk the homeowner through the normal step, that's not something that's really common with us, but it can happen because they're going to be personal loans directly to the homeowner. So you as the contractor, in the example that I used, if Lindsay's funded, you need to reach out to her and be like, hey, saw you're funded. Fantastic. Let's get the project underway. Versus we have seen contractors who won't reach out for 7 months, and then Lindsay just forgets or she finds someone else. But yeah, so contractor does have the responsibility to collect payment just as they would in every normal job. But great question. And then I think the last thing that I'll touch on, and then I'll really open it up to Q&A, is just kind of talk to how to sell it. right?
I
Like,
love the words to say because we're all about the words to say at Jill's office. So
oh,
I'm like,
you guys
our
especially.
jam.
Yeah.
This is our jam.
I can tell home improvement contractors all day, like, oh, you need to offer it, you need to offer it, you need to offer it. But unless I give words, what does that actually mean? And I think like a good example of a way that I've seen someone position explaining cost is they've gone around, they've already done the needs assessment with the homeowner, you're at the kitchen table. So let's say I'm a contractor, I own Sarah's Roofing. Okay, the total for the project is going to be $18,000. You know, typically we take a third down now as a down payment, and then the balance when the project's complete. Most of our customers do prefer to finance with low monthly payments, which really, depending on your credit score, could be anywhere between $170 to around $203 a month. I can send you my Hearth pre-qualification link, and you can understand what your options are.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love in there how you wrote most customers prefer, because you're normalizing it for them. Again, this maybe I didn't think about it, or like, oh, is there something wrong with me? I can't afford it. Well, no, most customers prefer this. So you make it totally normal and natural, and
customers do, because there's a lot more flexibility. Just as I'm sure with your team, you guys have a lot of insight into what customers like, what times they like, do they, you know, a lot of insight, and you want to share that with your homeowners and make them feel normal. Oh, I love that. Good point. And the way that you can actually calculate this 170 to 203 number is with Hearth, we give every contractor a payment calculator, which lets them on the fly understand like what the range will be. And of course, prefacing it with the homeowner to set expectations. Look, it's totally dependent on your credit score. I don't set the rates, but could be anywhere between 150 to, you know, $82 a month, really depends on you. And so that's where you would be able to slide in that more custom monthly payment option from a homeowner perspective.
Love that. And just a note for all our Jill's office users, you know, if you do want us to ask on the call, you know, just let the Jills can let them know, hey, we do offer financing. Is that something you'd be interested in? Give them a range or whatever. That's totally something you could add into your scripts that then you don't even have to ask it yourself if you don't want to. Just let Jill do it.
Yeah, of course. And that's another thing then you don't have to think about. And especially because you guys at your team know so much more about appointment setting and like what is good things to ask, what's good things to not ask, how to navigate the budget questions. Like you guys have probably such great insight into scripting from that perspective. And you can easily add in like, oh, you know, is it an emergency service? You know, oh, do you need to speak with them today? Are you interested in monthly payments? And then you can easily send them the pre-qualification. So great point. That's like, there's so much flexibility with scripting that it's really up to you guys. And then the second script is really when we talk about 0% interest, right? Like when you look at Window World, when you look at Leaf Filter, a lot of these are 0% interest options, and for a reason. Just as my Macy's sweater was 0%, and I was like, oh, 0% on 20 bucks, got good credit. Most homeowners like that same feeling. So ways that we've seen it presented is similar to the exact paragraph that I said before, but then a little bit of differentiation. So after you quote, hey, you know, a third of the price is going to be due when the work starts, you know, a third when we get on the job, and then, you know, the last third, let's say when you're satisfied. We actually do offer special financing options, including a 0% interest credit card. We find a lot of customers take advantage of this special financing offer because of the flexibility. Let me take a look and understand your options. And that would be a good example. You send out the pre-qualification link, or you can have the homeowner fill it out on your tablet. And then from there, they can understand, hey, did I qualify for the 0% interest? Because 0% interest, if you do qualify for it, is a really fantastic option. You don't have to take cash out of your savings, and you're not spending anything additional from a cost perspective on any interest. So that could be great. And with us, homeowners who have like a 680 credit score and above can qualify, but of course it's dependent on their debt to income ratio. There's a lot of dependencies there, but it's something that's a really powerful sales tool. And it almost got me over the finish line buying 17 sweaters. So that's how it goes. And just to touch a little bit more on the 0% option, that's something that we do offer here at Hearth, and it's in the form of a promotional credit card. And it's for homeowners who qualify. And those terms range from, you know, 6 to 18 months. And as with all of our loans, there's no additional dealer fees. And to add the 0% would just be about an extra $200 a year. But I rarely see a contractor who adds it who doesn't take advantage of it, because being able to, you think about the top of the funnel, market with 0% and have a conversation with like Jill's office when they call out on your leads, telling them that they have 0% could help your run rate on your appointments, for example, or, you know, solidify your appointment set. And then the last one, and we'll open it up to QA, is really, this is more for people who are selling a couple of different options, but we look at good, better, best. And the way that we see contractors present this, from my opinion, this is the best way to present it, because again, you're giving homeowners options. And the way that this can be presented is really utilizing monthly payments to upsell. So this example is going to be for someone who's selling gutters, but basically what you can do with financing is be like, look, we have the good, which is system A, the best, system B, or excuse me, we have good system A, we have better system B, and then we have best system C. To go from good to best is only going to be, maybe $40 a month difference from a monthly payments perspective. But the best has a lifetime no clog warranty. It has the color, the color scheme that you're really looking for. So we can go ahead and get that done for you. And a customer is going to be so much more likely to go for that versus it's $2,000 difference that I'm going to need now.
Right.
And so that's a really soft touch with the homeowner. And so the upsell is really going to be a powerful tool. And then we can skip these two pieces, but really I'll kind of fast forward to the end here is, as I mentioned earlier, we do give all of our contractors insight into where their homeowners are. So we tell you guys after the homeowner fills out the pre-qualification, did they get funded? Did they pre-qualify? And you can really prioritize leads accordingly. And you can see the lowest requested and highest amount. And you can see kind of where the homeowner falls within the FICO range as well. And this can just help you guys sell. And then last bit, pretty much how our financing options work is, as I mentioned earlier, we do not have any dealer fees. We do work down to a 550 FICO. So as you guys were saying at the start of the call, when homeowners don't expect to lose their AC, it doesn't matter what their FICO score is, they need help to get their house back and cool. So we hope to help to support homeowners, even if they've had a bad credit history. We're open to every single business, and our loan terms go up to $250,000 and then range from 2 to 12 years. And the homeowner pre-qualification has no impact on their credit score. We do have 17 lending partners, and really the onboarding here at Hearth is super fast. As I mentioned, utilizing financing throughout your sales process just helps you close more deals. It helps you guys upsell, and we try to make the barriers to entry of that as low as possible. So really there's no minimum requirements to join with Hearth. You set up your account. We do have training videos to show you how the dashboard works. And then from there, we can help you start funding your first loans. And I'll open it up to QA, and really next steps would be, if anyone's interested in finding out more, happy to speak with you or have my team speak with you. And you can go to gethearth.com/Jill's office, or I have my cell phone number here and my email. I'm an open book, so feel free to reach out as well. But we'll kind of open up for any Q&A, any discussion. I'm sure Nicole here on the call, she's got a couple sweaters in her Macy's checkout, which I'm jealous of.
Yes, I actually was wondering, I think people would love to know too, as they're watching this, or if they watch the replay, what does the onboarding process look like as a client? If you're a contractor and I was to sign up, because sometimes we have clients who they're really busy, and it's really hard to sit down and learn a new system and learn how to understand it, and it can get frustrating. So if you were to sign up with Hearth, what would that look like?
Yeah, great question. So to sign up with Hearth, you go to the link, and then we actually have one of our team members reach out to make sure that financing is going to be a good fit. So they talk through, do you have the right ticket size? We don't want to sell financing to someone whose average job ticket is $300. It's just not going to be the right fit. Then from there, their account can get set up through the salesperson. How we're structured from a payment perspective is that we don't collect any per loan fees. We have an annual membership, which is really dependent on the size of the business. But I would say probably average is between like $1,700 to around $2,000. And that covers you for the entire year. And then you offer financing to every single customer without any additional fees. From there, and I think you hit on this well, Nicole, training videos are really when you can watch them. So they're all available on demand, because we know that a lot of our guys are busy. So you can watch the training videos. You can also reach out to our CS and customer service team, our account managers, or myself if you ever need any help. And then from there, we've made it as easy as possible, especially on that mobile app. You can start sending out links right away, but all of the training videos are on demand, because we know, just as you touched on, you guys are busy. You're in the field. You're helping people. You don't have time to sit behind a desk and watch training videos at a very specific time.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's great.
I love it. This has been amazing. I just think, and then, I mean, you guys specialize in the home service industry, right? This is
We only work
for
with
them.
residential home
love
improvement
that.
contractors. Yeah, we work with like around, I think we're probably at around 13,000 contractors across the US right now. So
Wow.
we've been doing it for a
Awesome.
while, and we've seen a lot of success in just not only having people come on board. At the end of the day, it's great. And I think Nicole touched on this, to sign up for something, but it's really like, how can I leverage this to close more deals and be more competitive? And that's where we really, really want to help contractors out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. We'll drop that comment or the link in here. Yeah, for anyone that's interested or to learn more. And I mean, even if they want just more info, they can go to that website or contact
Fully.
you. What's the best
Yeah.
way?
Go to the website. My team will reach out with more information, or it's Sarah with an H Kreps, and I'll comment on the video on Facebook too with my contact info. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to kind of talk to you where it can fit in within your process.
I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. This was so fun. I wish I like this on a Thursday afternoon. It's like nice little energy boost.
Yeah.
Get you through. We call Thursdays weekend eve. Gets you ready for the weekends.
Totally.
Kind
And
of a
it's
way
nice,
to help you stay sane till Friday comes.
right? Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Well, awesome. Sarah, that was seriously great. Thank you so much for joining
Of course.
us. Like Michelle said, we'll add the link in the comments here on the video.
Cool.
And we hope you all have a great weekend.
Thanks. And thank you guys again so much for having me. It's awesome. We worked with Michelle on our podcast, and it was a great episode too. So thanks again.
Thank you, Sarah.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Let me stop the recording too.
I was like, do I leave?